and gentlemen, and welcome to another Just Yell to Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. Indeed, and it's 3 days short of someone getting older. I've just thrown it out there. Actually, I know quite a few people that are going to be getting older within the next week, so...
Yo, it is
True,
the last Thursday
but your
of
age
July.
number doesn't go up a full
day.
number every day.
I don't know who you're possibly
That
talking
would be
about.
scary. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Don't we all get older
Dude,
every
just
day,
go,
every
just
minute,
Google.
every second of the day, regardless?
Oh, my God. All right, just because Zealeus did, I'm going to do it as well.
Maybe I count my age
many
in days.
Days since.
I am. How old am I? Hold on.
15,024 days.
Oh, wait, hold on. 362. I am 14,962 days old.
Well, because I knew that by trying to do it,
15,000
I was
going
to forget leap years and all that stuff, so I just...
Nice.
Oh God.
Listen, dude, I did math. I went back to the arithmetic.
Ironically enough, I just watched an anime, or just finished watching an anime that their years last 381 days. So your age is something totally different.
Oh, fuck leap years.
I know. Anyways, okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is,
like,
I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the Cliff and Conrad himself.
Once you think they exist, but it's a figment of your imagination.
Indeed. This is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. If at any point you have any questions, comments, opinions, anything that you would like for us to discuss on the show, just drop it into any of your chats, be it YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, and we'll try to cover them during the show. If we do unfortunately run out of time, we will put it into the very next show. So, without further ado, and a forewarning, we didn't get to pull as many topics as we usually do because Charlie's having internet problems. But let's start off with the first one, and the first one is the announcement that there are 2 new Call of Duty skins. Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj are now selectable, or I guess you have to pay for them, skins for whatchamacallit. I totally just blinked. For Call of Duty, thank you. I'm trying to see if they put in how much money. I don't see. Did they put a price on
for Call of Duty?
Will not be free, but it's unclear how much
and we
their
all know
respective
how
bundles
much
will cost you.
Absolutely,
it's Snoop Dogg, Nicki Minaj,
so
and
I'm not
21
surprised
Savage.
if he already has a set ready to lock and load.
Yeah. So expensive.
I mean, my understanding is most games, I guess, I don't really pay attention, now charge like 20 plus a pop per skin. So even though we make fun of other games for having them, I was like, I didn't know that was the ordinary cost for a skin nowadays. I mean, it comes down to the economics. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about last week about like, what if we charge them $5 skin and we don't buy more? But you know that there's some back office people with their Excel spreadsheets with the levers where they just adjust. Like, what would happen if we did this?
You know, I'm not going to lie. I do like some of the crossovers, but for this one,
people will buy skin for 20, 25 bucks, whatever it is, to outweigh the cheaper, more economical price for people like me. That's just the reality.
Yeah, nor would I.
I don't think it's aimed at people like
I know
us,
she's a rapper. and he's tall.
I feel like the funny thing is like
21 Savage, which
Nicki
you would not
Minaj,
know.
like I would not recognize her out of a lineup. Like I know her race. That's literally it. That like anything beyond that, like Snoop Dogg, I know he's.
Well, I mean,
I'm
like
assuming he
I
still
know
has
that.
dreads.
Don't know. Go.
Who's the other one you mentioned? Yeah, like these are
Right.
out of my sphere
Yeah,
of knowledge. Very much
I'm
so.
all for a good crossover.
So yeah,
Smite has had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They've done
these type of skins.
Avatar:
None of
Last
these-
Airbender.
I say it's not even
Brawlhalla
these type of
has
skins. I think
done.
it's just more so for us. I think it's the price
What
point of
has
skins.
Brawlhalla done? I
We're
know
not
Brawlhalla has
targeting
done Ninja
demographic.
Turtles, and I know that they've done The Walking Dead. Paladins, I think, had a deal with Ruby for a bit. Yeah, those make sense to me. I'm not saying that Snoop Dogg at Call of Duty doesn't make. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I'm not the right demographic on a lot of fronts for that. I'm not a first-person shooter, Call of Duty rap enthusiast. So that basically that's 3 strikes against me. Yep. Yes. Yep. Yes, it is. Yeah, no, it's because I also have the pass for Paladins, and I still have access to all of
I do wonder
the new
like
characters.
Smite,
which, of course,
we purchased
I've
the
been
lifetime
I've
pass
been finding
like
out simply
years ago. I
because
know it doesn't apply to skins.
my kids have
But I
decided
wonder
that
if like
they want to
that's
start
actually
playing
still
Paladins.
active for all the gods they release.
So
it is? Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, for one of the kids, and no for the other one, because you can't be logged into the same account twice. So one's got the, I think I paid some kind of like season pass,
so for them,
and it
for them,
permanently
that was
unlocks
actually a fantastic
like a certain
deal
number
to
of characters, but not all
at
of them.
The time.
And yeah, it's just like Brawlhalla. I've unlocked. I paid that one up front so that any new character I immediately get, instead of in Brawl. I have to say the one thing I do like about Brawlhalla is that if you are in like a tutorial training mode, you could play with any of the skins.
But then the other one's
It's just when you're playing
for all characters.
when you're playing competitively or in an actual match, you're only allowed to use the skins that you have unlocked. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that is.
Yeah. It's actually really cool, and of course, if you've got the younger
pretty
people
cool
playing
idea,
it, like children,
sometimes I can only see like
then they're like, "Oh my god, I have to have this skin. How do I get it?"
To your point, it would be kind of cool
because this looks so cool.
Overwatch would be a good example. Like you have the training ground where you can't do anything else. So see like
for
really
Brawlhalla,
that skin in the training ground would actually be pretty cool.
They have one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes, it has worked. Exactly. So,
Yeah.
Speaking of celebrities, though, it looks like the actress Mila Kunis and Activision Blizzard are teaming up to create a World of Warcraft.
So it has worked
pack.
on.
It features 2 animals.
Demographic.
And all the proceeds for these 2 animals go to a Ukraine relief fund. The 2, let's see if I can find it here. The pet pack for Ukraine contains 2 pets. Sunny, a cheerful sunflower dog who can be equipped in the retail version of World of Warcraft, and Flurky for Wrath of the Lich King Classic. 100% of this bundle sales will go to Blue Check Ukraine, an organization that identifies vets and assists Ukrainian NGOs. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. It's kind of like a couple years ago when Blizzard did it with Overwatch, with the Cancer Mercy pink skin. So those type of skins, I would like. If a game
I've also done
had like right now Diablo
bought
4
into like the
released
physical
that type
products.
of skin for my
I know
character,
that Bungie
I probably released
did a couple of T-shirts for relief funds.
Usually they're really good skins too. Like
Japan got hit real hard by like a tsunami or something,
like recognition.
Quite a few years ago.
So normally they're really good when it's those type of skins.
Kojima,
so it's kind of like a double. It looks cool.
They did a keychain thing where all the proceeds for keychain from oh my gosh, what's the name of that game? Death Stranded or Stranding? Yeah. Yep. And all those funds went to Ukraine. And I've got that keychain somewhere. Oh, it's on my laptop bag. That's where it is. So, I'm all for, doing that support stuff. I'm a charitable man. What can I say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's tough. Yeah. Nice.
Right. Well, and also it also allows you to further advertise it. Like with the pink Mercy skin, everyone's going, "Whoa,
let's
how'd
be
you
honest,
get the pink
humans
Mercy skin?" So they got to look into it.
Like charity, also want something.
If you get like the special T-shirt or the keychain,
the reality is
whatever, people are going to notice
something
it
in return
and go
for your donation.
Well, how the hell do I get one of those? Because I've never seen one of those before.
To that.
Yeah. Nope, but there's going to be a new pink skin for somebody. I'm sure. Sure, I don't know. Like Mercy's the only character from Overwatch I know right off the top of my head.
Overwatch forum, at least like one person asked, "Is this pink Mercy skin ever going to be re-released?"
But yeah. So
no.
Good for Blizzard and good for Mila Kunis, and hopefully this, lots of people buy into it. I know there's still tons of people who still play World of Warcraft, so should make a difference. Actually, did they put a price on that?
Fair enough.
I don't know if they actually set a price. $20 and is available for purchase until August 29th. Which, yeah. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's talk about some more exciting news, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, for the third time, Futurama is back! It once was on Fox, got canceled. Then went to Comedy Central, got canceled. And now it's on Hulu. And the first episode, or maybe the first two episodes are now available. I watched the first episode, have to admit, it was a nice trip down memory lane, and it poked fun at the fact that it's been canceled twice, and they went as far as going, every single TV show should go through this, because that's how you keep it fresh in everyone's mind. And for the new generation, they even had a company in the first episode called Fulu, where they're trying to relaunch a TV show that has gone out of favor. So it was great. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Huh? Yeah. It's good. I mean, Futurama is definitely, like, I keep coming back to it, but it's one of those that if I try to binge, I get burnt out.
Haven't played it.
Huh?
Or watched it. I mean, I have never watched it, so I am...
Yeah. So...
Again, don't help, but I also don't have Hulu.
Yeah, Futurama is back.
Yeah.
And it's also awesome that they basically got the entire cast
So
to
it's
come
like
back.
a comfort
So
show at times.
the voice cast.
So it's your comfort show at times.
I know there was a lot of back and forth to get the voice of Bender, but they've got everybody, the whole party.
I know there'll be a lot of very excited people because it's one of those shows where
that would be
people
weird
who are
to have
into
him
Futurama
recast
love Futurama.
Yeah. It's just,
That
when
is
you
always
have those like recastings, I think we've talked about this before, but when you have when you have to recast a role in a live action,
You gotta have
it's
the
a
iconic
lot
Bender.
harder to do, which is why everybody is.
I mean, I've never seen the show, and even I
dreading
know about Bender.
when Hemsworth takes the reins from Cavill, because I don't care how much makeup you put on him, there's gonna be a difference because the way he walks, the way he talks, his pacing for the dialogue, his muscle tone. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah. I did get my wife to watch the first episode of Witcher, and she may or may not come back to the show. It's a little bit bloodier than she anticipated. Yeah, the first episode of season 1. Yeah.
The very distinct grunt.
What's that?
It's very important.
Well, when we get a little bit further, then I'll try to explain the timeline.
Wait, like season 1? So if she's gonna watch season 1, which I think so far is the best season of Witcher, there's, I would say, one very key thing that might help her out.
Yep.
A timeline.
It's like the introduction of a character, and they're like, "Hey, it's good to finally see you again." You're like,
That
"Wait,
was the
see
worst,
you again?"
I wouldn't say worse. The hardest part for season 1 for me was like realizing there was like time jumps because the show doesn't give you like
They need to have some kind of on-screen
travel in time, didn't we?
Like,
but it's like stuff has already happened, and you're like
5 years into the future.
That was interesting.
5 years previous, something. Yes.
Yeah. So that'd be my one gripe about season 1, which I know was a creative choice, but I think it was a dumb creative choice.
Right.
Year or month. That's all it is. Yeah, we're not asking for much. Yeah, just something to indicate. Yeah.
I know.
Or even
I saw
the future or the past.
Which means
just
that
something so
at some
like
point I'm going to
your
have
brain
to
can even just like
jump into season 3
it's in the future at some
knock
point
that out.
Previous
Then again, I've got so many shows that I'm behind on
interpret
now
that and figure it out. Well,
I need to make a list because I keep forgetting about shows, and then I'll see that and be like, "Oh crap! If I just had enough time, I'll watch this." But I don't have enough time right now.
Season 3 is out.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
I do want to finish off season 3 of The Witcher this weekend, just so I can like read some of the pop culture stuff around people's interpretation of it.
Right.
Like to kind of like give the the commentary, the dialogue about what it is, and compare it to the books and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why, so I can kind of see, be a part of
The Witcher.
Mainly a part because it's Cavill's
Witcher,
last.
of course,
like
is
if
CD
it wasn't
Projekt
Henry
Red.
Cavill's last season, I wouldn't
it's also
care
the
as
same
much.
company behind Cyberpunk 2077.
Watch it eventually. But it's his last season.
It appears that they have
been
doing some downsizing over the last couple months, where they have reduced their workforce by 9%, which I believe equals about 100 employees are no longer employed there. I think that's just kind of the unfortunate turnover because Cyberpunk 2077 was only going to have that Liberty, was it Liberty City? Liberty something expansion, and then they were done with that. And then I think the only other huge project they have is the new Witcher that's coming out. So I think it was just unfortunate turnover at this point. No company retains their entire workforce from project to project anymore. Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that is the cycle of production releases. Or,
yes.
Yeah. Or
so
at some point you have
the best
a hiring freeze,
people who
but you
got
also don't
released, hopefully you'll
retain
end
people
up
like, if your
in a
employee
new
leaves,
role
not
in a new
rehiring that
company,
person at the
or
same
maybe you
time.
get
So
hired
that's kind
back
of way
when
of doing it too.
things
So,
really spin up.
Yeah, I mean,
at CD Projekt Red.
It's for better or for worse. That's the world we live in.
Now, changing gears to another RPG game, let's talk about Diablo 4. And let's start off with, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I have no idea what the hell are thorns.
Indeed.
Okay. Because apparently someone found this, like, I don't even know if I could find the article anymore, but someone found some piece of armor that had a ridiculous amount of thorns on it, and people are losing their damn minds. I'll see if I can...
It's like when an enemy attacks you and you do damage back to them, basically, like automatically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, it's a thing. And if you're a necromancer,
Gotcha.
a percentage of those thorns can also apply to your minions. So when your minions get attacked, they're like automatically basically reflecting damage back to the enemy. And your minions on their own don't necessarily do a whole lot of damage. So having that can really increase your DPS, depending on what your build is. So yeah, that's basically what thorns are. Yeah, because I don't know what the loot that dropped was, but it's also the season 1 started, and so people I imagine are finding new fatter and fatter loot all the time to wipe the floor. I do find it interesting that so there was a patch last week or 2 weeks ago that dropped for Diablo 4, and it basically nerfed all the classes. It didn't absolutely destroy the meta or anything.
I just don't understand this reality we live in, where we've got these morons out there who try to sprint through every single game and go, look how quick I could do it. This game is shit. Why are you trying to play as fast as possible?
We're now harping this all the time, where it's online game forums, all they care about is Zord to the end as fast as possible. Nothing else matters.
Right. Yeah.
And so that happened. So there was the uproar over that. But it's have you ever played another action RPG? I'm not you, the world in general. Path of Exile, for instance, is notorious for patches that absolutely destroy years worth of builds, and they just basically no longer work. So on one hand, I'm okay, I get it. You're a little bit annoyed that oh no, they nerfed everyone. Versus if you played another game like Path of Exile, because that's the other big ARPG online right now, this is a routine thing where everything in the game shifts between
here we go. It's called the Razor Plate Ancestral Unique Chest Armor.
So sometimes it's
that has over 7,000
something, a patch happens in the game and people act like the world has literally come to an end and they're going to boycott the game and oh no, it's the worst thing ever. And it's it's a game. Sometimes you just gotta sit back and have fun. Unfortunately, that number really doesn't mean anything to me, but depending on what your build is and your minions.
In previous builds of Diablo 4, the maximum number was 700.
You also have a range.
Now it's
that affix.
I don't know what the maximum build is, but it's someone got
the thorns can be anywhere.
One with 7,000, so 10 times
let's just say between 1,000
the
and
amount
the 7,000
from the previous
you gave.
build.
So you also try to get it until you get like the God roll tier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot. Now, what I do think would be cool, this is just my humble opinion, it's like something like that, right? Like, let's just say 700 is the max.
This is a perfect segue
like,
into the other topic
like
for Diablo 4 that I've discovered,
like
and that is that Blizzard has come out.
It doesn't drop enough.
Activision
where
Blizzard.
Like,
Let's make sure that we don't forget the Activision piece.
0.00001% chance.
Yeah.
Where it's just
and they've come out and basically said,
I think that's actually kind of entertaining.
Look, guys,
to make that
you cannot use any third-party software while you're playing the game. And there's one that they went out of their way to truly point out, and it is called Turbo HUD 4. And what it does is it helps find very rare and useful items in the game for you. Let's see. Some people have been relying on this third-party software to make the job of finding such rare and useful items significantly easier. How do they do it, though? It gives you a legendary item tracker, event timer displays, loot counters, and more. Yeah.
It probably just gives you a HUD overlay, I'm guessing, of like what dungeon
Some of these perceived
or
annoyances are in fact deliberate design choices, the avoidance of which goes counter to the experience that Blizzard wants its players to have. Look,
that basically makes it sound like a gacha game.
We all know that
like, I mean, we all play the gacha games, so they have like 80 timers on the screen.
Mods there because, yes, they are breaking the game. Or they could give... Yeah, I don't know. I do know that some of the more nefarious ones are those mods that you put into the first-person shooter games, competitive first-person shooters.
World of Warcraft for years had
that basically track all of the active players in the round, or you could shoot through walls. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Benefits. Right.
Those aren't cool. But like, I remember with World of Warcraft, like I know people who learned how to program from Lua because that was the add-on programming language for WoW. And so that's how they got really into it. I mean, it's also like I'm not arguing that they should just allow any add-on, but it's also like most people now have also a second monitor. So like when I'm playing Blizzard, like I have a second monitor with the map with like the altars and all the other stuff, which is basically a extended add-on in a way. So I get it, but on the other hand, like people are going to use these tools in a way anyways. Now, like having a on-screen, like let's just say like overlay of the map or where to go to find the legendaries, to me, there's actually nothing wrong with that. But that's very different than especially like a FPS game where it's tracking enemy alts.
You just have to take that stance of no mods.
That is definitely a competitive balance thing. So I think it also depends on the game and the context.
Mm-hmm.
But I also get like as a developer, you're not going to play, judge of what is the nuance of what is legal versus not, because that's not a winning, like you're not going to win that. Like no matter what you do, people are going to be angry at you. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like that's a big thing with the Final Fantasy 14 crowd. It's like they've come out a number of times that like mods are like against the TOS and everything. And it's always kind of an interesting thing to me because, like, especially for in-game rating in 14, like you have to have like a really good DPS pattern. Like you have to know what you're doing. You have to like get your spec down and everything. But the problem is, unless you know what your DPS is via a add-on, you don't know if you're actually any good or not. Like there's just no real indication in the game of how good you are doing your role from a DPS perspective. So that's always kind of been my annoyance. It's like,
right.
On one hand, I get it because they also want to make the game as friendly to newcomers as possible. And we get that DPS meters create this perception of like, you're not good enough because your DPS sucks. But if you're also doing DPS encounters that have rage counters that are sometimes really freaking tight, like, how do you know if you're carrying your weight without that DPS meter? So that's sometimes where I wish maybe there's like a little bit of a happy medium where like if you're doing like these certain raids or dungeons, then these like maybe it's an official Final Fantasy 14 add-on where like they will now tell you your DPS and what you're doing so you know if you're throwing your weight. So that's kind of always been my problem with just the no add-ons. It's almost like you have to have add-ons. Like when we do
that
raids,
kind of stuff, you know,
like one of our guys on the PC, because obviously they don't work on the PS5.
There's a specific term for that.
I mean, he has to tell us if we're carrying our weight or not. Like,
there
you
you
have
go. Quality
a ninja
of life.
Who's doing like
that
less DPS than
quality
of
life
mage,
improvements
you
in
sure
games.
shit got problems. But if you don't have DPS meter,
especially games
you're
that
not
are going to be around for a long time, there should be additional things like the DPS tracker. I mean, that's kind of big late in games, especially in that game.
Quality of life.
Right.
Yeah. And the only way
However,
I know
think
what my
that
DPS
if there's enough
heroes
of
per second is because the guy on the PC
call for it,
has
there would be some
the tracker
sort of
keeping track of what
in that
I'm
department,
doing.
but apparently,
so even me, that's what makes it hard. Yeah. I don't have. I mean, they're not going to allow add-ons. Like that's never going to change in Final Fantasy. So it is. But it's part of it's never going to happen though because that's part of the philosophy of the game designer, Yoshi, is to basically make it as welcoming to all gamers as possible. And he and Square Enix obviously strongly believe that having a active DPS meter is not a welcoming attribute of a MMO, which to some extent is true. Like there's no denying it.
I think I lost Zealeus.
It just kind of runs counterbalance when you have a DPS check.
He's saying something very profound right now, and he just doesn't know that he's been cut off.
I think it becomes problematic.
Like
if you're in a 4-person dungeon, who the hell
50-second
cares?
delay.
Like that doesn't matter.
That he's actually not moving.
It's only like the the ultra in-game content,
interesting
where, like literally seconds matter. That's where.
But I think what he's trying to say is that for those kids out there who don't know what DPS means, that means damage per second, and in very difficult parts of multiplayer games, competitive multiplayer games, you will notice that the amount of damage that one does in very tight situations really does matter per second or half a second or millisecond in some points. And Zealeus is back. I think I got the rest of what you were trying to say before you got cut off there. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to do some shout-outs here. These are these amazing individuals that help Alta Confusion be the Alta Confusion that you love and adore. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about some friends of the show. At some point, I need to write a freaking note that says, fix this black background.
I think that really about something.
Because I just rememred it now. Okay, here we go. Anyways, Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. Really? Nice. You gotta make your money somehow, man.
If you have not been lately, oh my gosh, my thing is totally spazzing out now. Their website is completely changed. It's now in beta. It's actually kind of interesting.
We'll just go to indiecluster.com and let's go to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously by Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. Now let's talk about the gentleman who is actually at my house today who can help with all your aches and pains after long gaming sessions. Let's talk about Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make the plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Now let's talk about the music maestro himself. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And finally, let's talk about the OG backer for Alter Confusion. And that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and system administration team working on satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now I know what everyone's thinking. Oh my God, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because I could tell you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion survives in the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, mummies, swamp creatures, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers. There's the $1 tier that's $1 a month or $12 a year, and at that tier you get access to early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts and polls to help shape the future of Alter Confusion. If you're feeling really frisky, we have the $5 tier. That's the $5 a month or $60 a year. Not only do you get everything at the $1 tier, but you also gain your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section for every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to be a patron of Alter Confusion, all you got to do is go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. Now, of course, the other shout out we always have to give, because it's super duper important to us, and that, of course, is, ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion is proud to say that we have fundraised for Extra Life for 12 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. And just because we haven't done this well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support Alter Confusion, perhaps not in a financial or digital way, but you want to send something to Alter Confusion so that we could show it off on the show, that we have a P.O. box. And yes, I did check our P.O. box the other day, and apparently there is a bank who really, really wants our our business, because there's like 7 letters from a single bank. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to send something to Alter Confusion so we can show off the show, be it a Funko Pop or maybe, a cool mug, hat, video game, whatever, all you got to do is send it to, oh my gosh, that's even worse. Let's see if I can get the black backdrop. Nope, it's not going to work. Okay, wow, this is going to be super duper embarrassing, because the black backdrop is really neat on this one. All right, All right. So if you want to send something to Alter Confusion, you got to send it to 1551 Dunwoody. That's DUNWOODY, Village Parkway, number. This is super duper 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 important. Number 88276. That is the P.O. Box number. If you do not put it there, it will not get to us. The city, once again, is Dunwoody, DUNWOODY.
I'll make it out.
State is Georgia. Zip code is 30338. I actually checked it right after my haircut. I got a haircut. I got just one, because that's basically all I got left on my head is a hair. All my hair is migrated to my face. Yes, special Mountain Dew also is, if like I said, and I've said this many times, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a Mountain Dew live wire connection, please, if you're feeling really generous, send it to me so I can do my trifecta pour. Because I don't get to do them often, but my trifecta pour would be live wire, Code Red, and the original Mountain Dew poured at the same time into the same cup to make Mountain Dew magic to my taste buds. What's that? Oh, you mean the fucking Baja Blast crap?
You know what really riles my taste buds?
I know.
That Taco Bell only has regular Mountain Dew, because the other 2 Mountain Dews they have are absolute banana shit. Like, why would... It's like Baja Blast, and they always have like some other weird Mountain Dew that tastes worse than cough syrup. Like, why can't you just have Code Red also? Because everyone loves Code Red. So it's like, why did you do the funky flavors? Like, I get it, it's Taco Bell. Yeah, I do things special. I'm like, no, just have regular Mountain Dew.
Yeah, do
Code Red, and then do one funky Mountain Dew. That's fine.
Anyways,
but like, one of their 2 stupid Mountain Dews really should just be Code Red. Like, it really annoys me, because every time I go there, I'm like, that's right. They have Mountain Dew, but they don't have Code Red. Damn it! It really bothers me. Yeah.
So I got a question for Zealeus. Is Zealeus going to Dragon Con this year?
Also, Indie Cluster very much redoing their website, because their articles still say Lorem Ipsum.
Well, I'll be very interested to see or hear about how Dragon Con is for you, because from my understanding, they've lifted the attendees cap.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be changing in the next couple of days. Oh, dude.
Nice.
Of course I'm going to Dragon Con, sir. Who doesn't go to Dragon Con?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm actually working on. So attached to my thermostat are going to be LEDs attached to a battery back. Because the idea is I have my famous thermostat,
Mm-hmm.
and basically I'm wrapping those LEDs, and I get some diffusement paper to put around it. The trick is I had to
turn
find
on for
a
pictures and
battery
have to
pack
turn it
that
right
had
back
enough
off.
amperage, only running at 5 volts, to actually power a true LED strip.
Yep.
So that's actually to try a couple battery packs to be like, okay, what's going to actually power this? And for long enough, not just power it, but also for like an entire day of walking around, because I'm not going to be charging it during the day. So that's why. Nope. The current strip I have on my staff, I have to do that with, and it's kind of annoying. So I've been testing this. I've had this one on for literally the last day. So that was my first thing. Does it actually run long enough? And it does. So that'll be my next goal, is figure out how to actually attack it so it doesn't fall off. It's the next fun thing. But yes, I'll be there. It's actually the first time that my friends and I will actually have a hotel room there. So we will be doing the true con experience of having a.
Also, don't want you don't want your beer to get hot.
Very useful at times. Probably the biggest use may be the convenience of food and alcohol, because like my buddy, it's kind of funny. He'll come in with a 12-pack in his backpack. So he drinks like half of them within the first hour, just so he's not hauling around the 6-pack the entire day. Oh no, he was also very clear, like that's the other problem, is like you just can't avoid it because it's hot everywhere. So yes, it has many benefits to having a hotel room. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Looking forward to it. It is, as usual, Labor Day weekend in Atlanta. That has not changed. Yeah, we'll see how the attendee limit goes.
Right.
Because really the biggest issue I found with the lack of attendee limit right before COVID hit, was you get the jack wagons coming from the sports ball coming over.
Well,
and
Chick-fil-A
being, like,
kickoff.
Basically stupid hooligans.
Not the bowl.
And preventing, basically through the sales that they did last year, because it was still super packed last year. So there weren't a lot of people there. So I thought that was a good move, actually, because that was like a very vocal issue, especially on Saturday after the Chick-fil-A Bowl. But, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't go over well.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. More ticket sales equals more Moonies. That's the way of the world, or so I hear. One of the more entertaining parts last year is one of the hotels, I forget which, had a no alcohol policy. Meaning, there was like a rule, like it was very explicitly stated in their signs, like you are not allowed to enter this premise with alcohol.
How many hotels are they in now? Is it
word
just
on the street is they tried for the first 5 minutes and then gave up. Because I'm like, don't get me wrong, if you don't drink at Dragon Con, that's cool, but let's be honest, most people go to Dragon Con to drink the entire weekend. And you're not holding back the horde of Dragon Conners from drinking at one of the convention hotels. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, it hasn't really grown in size as far as like that goes. Of course, thinking of Dragon Con, one of the big questions is going to be the writer strike, because now you have the actors, and part of the actor strike policy is they can't also attend conventions and work in promotional so I think they could still attend it, but they can't do anything in a promotional capacity, which one of the if I consider Dragon Con one thing, their big thing is really kind of that sci-fi fantasy TV track. That's a really big deal actually for Dragon Con, both through the panels, because like people like Matt Smith and other Whoians and just other sci-fi panels have always been one of the most packed panels at Dragon Con. Also, the Walk of Fame.
That's
which
the
is
thing.
a
A lot of those voice
I
actors
mean, one
have
of the
some
pretty big
acting
ballrooms
credits. So
is devoted just to, I'd say about a third of the room is voice actors. So I presume they can still go. I don't know for sure. But I think they're separate unless they have like any acting roles. I don't know. But would be my guess. But a lot of the room is still actors. And then the other big thing too that you miss out on is we've never done it.
It would
but
be
there's
weird.
a
I mean,
big
it would be
portion
weird
of
if
the hotels
they could
that's
show
also
up and
devoted to,
basically
like,
say,
fan
"Let me tell you a
pictures. So, like,
story
you actually
about my
sign up for a
childhood," because I
time
can't talk
to go take a
about
picture
any
with
of
the
my
actor
TV
and
roles because of my
actresses who
strike.
like set time aside to do that. So like kind of the TV movie track, like I would say it's probably like the biggest fandom really at Dragon Con.
Yeah, a guy who
I mean,
I was not surprised by this, but a guy who can definitely just go off the cuff and just ramble on about random stuff is Patrick Warburton.
which
he is
for some of the actors, that would actually probably be highly
if you heard his
entertaining.
voice, you would know. He's
Someone like
done a
David
lot of voice
Tennant,
acting.
I'm
He's
sure
also
could, like,
done
absolutely crush something
TV
like
and
that.
movies and stuff. But he's kind of like that laid back guy that if you're asking him personal questions, he just kind of leans back in the chair, puts his hands across his chest, and then will just kind of look off into the distance, up into the distance, and then he will give you some crazy ass stuff. Because he was the voice actor for the animated Buzz Lightyear cartoon on Disney, and he apparently went golfing with Tim Allen, who is the voice of Buzz Lightyear through all the Toy Story things and his adventures on that. I mean, like that kind of cool stuff. How about okay? So here's something. Let's say that you have a bunch of actors signed up for a themed panel talking about their show.
Now, if actors and actresses not coming to Dragon Con
that's what I thought.
to participate and support the strike, I'm all for it. Like that to me is more important than the convention scene.
That'd be nuts, man. Like everybody's hopped up on this panel for this hot new show, and then they can't talk about it.
I don't think they're allowed to. Like that's my understanding. Like, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, but that's my understanding from just reading post. Is basically they just can't really do anything at fan conventions. Is what it comes down to. Yeah, I mean, it's like most conventions. I mean, the most attended panels are the ones with the actors and actresses, and sometimes it's singular, and sometimes like it's a round table panel. But that's always the biggest ones. Now, I did find interesting. I saw is like, for instance, the House of Dragons, the HBO one, that's still filming because they're all part of the British actors. Theirs, and like they actually can't participate in the strike, basically. Like because of how the rules are written. So like they're still doing their filming because of.
I've got one more interesting topic, and this one,
so it's just kind of interesting to me how different.
I need to read more into, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. And apparently,
different laws,
the ESRB is trying to get the FTC to approve because of the utilization of facial analysis software to determine the age of the user. Yeah. I'm gonna post this in the chat so that everyone could do their due diligence, because this one has me really scratching my head. But Like,
what?
They're like, what? We're not going to be collecting any data. I'm
Sounds
like,
like
but you have
terrible
to
idea.
for the analysis of the face. So they're saying that they're doing it to this is to comply with COPA. What? According to the application filed last month, the method is designed to comply with COPA, federal law aimed at regulating the collection of personal data for kids under 13. Among other things, it requires U.S.-based...
Right off the bat,
blah, blah.
I'm like, hello.
In this application, the ESRB noted that verifiable parental consent would work as follows. Oh! Well, what? So it's to scan the parent's face? So I guess it's to have, like, make sure the parents know where the kids are going? The system should only work with adults 25 and older. Okay, so it's to scan the parent's face. Here's a fun... I'm just gonna... I would immediately... Ooh. Let's say that... Okay, you'd be denying access to anyone who doesn't have a webcam. And then I want to know how good that facial recognition is, because why...
Wow, this is still a terrible
Could
idea
I just,
so many levels.
hold up a picture of, like, David Hasselhoff and just have it... Yeah. Can I just, like, if I had a bust of, like, Beethoven and I put it in front of the camera?
Yeah.
Would that work?
Actually, I'm going to 3D print a bust, and I'm just going to use that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like this is solving a problem. This is solving
for
a problem.
The sake, trying to create a problem for the sake of
looking for a problem to which we already have an answer.
Kind of.
Parents do their jobs.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Like it's
yeah.
There's a phrase. It's like it's looking for a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. Basically, like, why are we doing this? Like,
yeah, my webcam is only active during my streams, and then my work webcam has a I have those little.
Yeah. We know what each other mean.
It's not a post-it. Well, it's kind of a post-it note, but it's one of those
PC, like, it's only on during the show. Otherwise, like it's literally like unplugged from my computer.
No, not a. I'm not that fancy. I don't have one of those little shutter things. No, you know how, like, when you're in college, you have these little things you could pull out that had like a sticky piece to it, and then had like a plastic piece over here that said it points to this line. So you could, like, mark the side of your book. Of course, but it's like posted.
Yeah, it's a little shutter that
tack,
just goes
so you
across
just pull it off. Why just cut just the sticky tack part just over the camera? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, my camera just seems out of focus. You could kind of see my silhouette. If anybody from my office is watching this is a total lie. I don't actually do that. I do that. It's great. But yeah.
Nice.
I know.
Yeah. Like, this is such a terrible idea on so many levels.
Right.
And call me crazy, I'm highly skeptical that the data would not be stored.
And I want to know...
Like, I just don't... They can say it, but I don't believe it.
What country...
Because the problem is you're also relying on the...
what's the call?
You're also
Yodi?
trusting this developer.
What country is Yodi from?
That. And you and I both sit in the back end of development stuff where we know you have a bad actor could easily circumvent that if they want to.
Sure. Let's see if I could find a.
Like, this seems like
the
chance in hell the EU would go for this either.
Origin.
Like, because the EU is all about.
Ooh, those are names I cannot pronounce.
You know, that stuff. Like, it seems like this is dead on arrival in the European Union, just based off of their track record for this type of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just. But okay, but here's the thing. It said that it
FTC
will only go into effect for 25 and older. So how the hell do you find out?
This is like the worst.
Like how do you determine that the person in front of the camera is 25 or older? There are individuals who are, amazingly enough, look young for their age. Yeah. And then there are individuals who are, who look ancient.
Yeah, because that's all it is. So you're not in front of the camera.
I don't know of many 13-year-olds that look like 20-year-olds. However, you always see
logically makes sense, but you're right.
You follow sports at all. ESPN usually throws up like some random. This is a 13-year-old, 6'4", 300-pound offensive lineman who's going to be the future.
The other way around.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
That too. That's true. I don't know. I don't, Or just put a Halloween mask on.
Yep. I think it's those. Yeah, it's those high schoolers when they especially get their facial
your
hair.
face is just abstract art.
Or makeup. I bet makeup would also get easily around this.
That's too scary for me. Like, as we have stated, and I have personally jumped on a soapbox many times. Parents, be aware of what your kids do. I'm very aware of what my kids do. Privacy. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's after the fact. But then I yell at them, in a calm and level voice, I explain to them why they should not continue to watch the garbage crap that they're watching on YouTube. Because there is some garbage crap that they watch, and I'm like, all right, dudes, we let you have the TV on. Watch a real show. Not. If I could disable YouTube on our smart TV in our living room, I would do it in a heartbeat. Because they don't watch anything intelligent on YouTube. It's all.
Oh, but what's a real show? Now you're using and imparting your own biases against your children.
Because I've got to go there. Well, Alter Confusion, everybody is. No, we have. I just want to go on record. Alter Confusion has no problem with YouTube. I just think that some of the content creators on YouTube are absolute crap. And I feel that if my children are going to be utilizing technology in which they're watching a show, they should watch a real show and not a bunch of morons trying to create
if you're killing their brain cells, it's killing your brain cells too, bro.
Possibly, probably. I don't know. I have enough fun trying to make sure that the TV doesn't decide, oh yeah, we lost wireless, even though everything else is connected to the internet and the signal strength is perfect. Like, there's no Wi-Fi. Like, what's wrong with you?
Restrict apps without the pen.
Not just, I love how, like, sometimes
my TV will be like,
there's no Wi-Fi.
Most TVs have that.
It'll give me the warning, and then we'll watch, like, we'll be at the beginning of a 2.5-hour movie, and yet there's no problem watching that 2.5-hour movie. And the whole thing is streaming. And there's no There's no downloading. Whatever. Anyways,
it's right here, man. I can feel it going through my brain.
All I have to say is that I hope that this thing does not pass, because there's way too much wiggle room to collect data to actually go against COPA, because there's just too many questions for me. It makes me very uncomfortable thinking about it. I just yeah. No bueno. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's messed up. That's why you need to get yourself a private
right on par
VPN.
I forget what
and choose a state that doesn't require that, so you can watch your porn in peace.
Verification porn law, for like in order to go to like XXX websites, you had to like give your driver's license.
So if I did a dummy license,
it's a thing in a couple of states.
Like the generic license, I wonder if that would work. You never know. No, thank you. I've got.
Here, you can. Or you just use your state government's
better things to do with my time. Yes, that would require too much effort on my part. See, that is the worst response you could give as a
backward states to find out.
I know, but I'm doing it on purpose. I'll figure it out.
I imagine. Like trying to figure out how to block YouTube on your TV.
No, he'll be all in tears. Dad did something. I don't know what he did, but I can't do it anymore. Vimeo?
Which you just gave.
No, I know. We used to put our shows on Vimeo.
So we'll see next week. I'm going to ask Brody, like, hey, Brody, did you watch all those annoying shows?
That's one of the reasons why we had our shows were so freaking short, was because of Vimeo. Because once upon a time, ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout was like a 25-minute show, because that was the maximum length we could do for audio and video,
Vimeo's still around,
and keep the cost from being outrageous. But now, we have a little bit more flexibility.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. So I'm assuming Zealeus is still heavy into Diablo 4, and he's not coming up for air anytime soon. How is that season 1 going?
Now we live in a ad-supported world where we are the product.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. They call them malignant hearts. They offer a twist on it. So, I mean, basically, my plan is during the season just play a different character.
Cool.
It's like, for instance, I'm playing a. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking the type of a druid. And so, like, if I already played the druid in the
like blow people's minds here, but I've been playing more Zelda.
Playing a druid again. So
and I played a little bit of Legends of Runeterra.
Just play a new character during the season.
And I played just a smidge of Paladins.
Yeah, but I know that's not a very exciting response.
There's a couple times where my eldest
an action RPG that I like.
will ask me to play a round or two, and I'll be like, all right.
What?
And I've made sure that. I mean, if
so, you actually played Paladins.
We're only playing against the CPUs. We're not playing. Our team, I think, was it five players per team? Yeah, 5v5.
Oh no! Do I have to?
You can't make it like a. At least I don't think you can. Make it just us two. There's times where we have other live players on our side, but we're playing against the CPU team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I make sure I mute all those wonderful individuals and yeah. Sorry, but I don't want to hear your voice. Ever. The only time I want to hear your voice, I will have some kind of voice chat outside, probably Discord.
And do you have like chat disabled then?
Agile X and I used to do for, I think it was Magica 2, was we just set up a chat in Discord and play it that way.
Yeah.
So.
I hear that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've reached the end of our show. But I do want to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving it come our heads, our mouths, and, of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. Amen to that, brother.